Hello, guys. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Guys, welcome. Waiting my guest, Igor. He will be after a few minutes. So, guys, let's start. Today topic will be Finn moves to Russia. So, plan for today for this live is we will talk with Igor. And after that, guys, we will start answer for your questions. So I see your questions. I will answer during the live. And of course, in the end, I will answer. So please write your comments. And after that, so it's my first live today. That's why some technical problems. Sorry for technical problems. So hello again. Good evening, guys. So we will. How are you, Anna? Thank you. I'm very good. I'm very good. I am now in Moscow. So this is my working place. So here I have my classes for students who comes to me in real or whom I teach online. Also, I use this is in Russian language. Это доска, and you can see typical teachers' workplace, books, notebooks, and so on. So we will talk with Igor about his life. So he will tell us about himself. And so I have so many questions, guys. Schedule is maybe 40 minutes. Yes, I guess we will talk around 40 minutes. But if we have a lot of questions, of course, we will continue. Oh, Igor is here. So perfect. Perfect. Hello. Ciao tutti. Hello.
Hi.
Igor. Hi.
You started
How are
without me.
you?
Hello from currently Helsinki.
From Helsinki. Wow. I sent information about our video to my friends, also to my Russian friends. So here there are not only my Indian subscribers, also some people from America. Guys, could you write please in chat where are you from? Yes, very interesting to know where you're from. Please write from India, from USA. What is your city? And also my Russian friends. And I said them write in comments questions for Igor. So Igor, today will be questions not only from me and from my friends also.
Yeah, that's great. And I think the sound is okay. I can hear myself though. Are you?
No,
do
I
you
hear you well.
do you use You don't have microphone. Earphones.
No, I don't use earphones.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
use normal as we did in previous live on your channel.
All right. But I can manage. I can hear myself a bit. But maybe I can take if I take this away. How does this sound now?
Right.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear.
I see people from
I will try to
Italy,
find it.
from India, India.
Italia, India,
Yeah.
yes. A lot of people from all around the world.
Namaste, buonasera. Buonasera, it's in Italy.
Yeah.
So, is it's better if I use headphones?
It might be better because this way I won't hear myself speaking. Because
Okay,
yeah.
I will try. Okay, guys, please
I think the basic ones work well. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
I
you
can.
can talk. You can talk with
Hey,
Vadik.
Vadik пришел. Кот.
Vadik, my cat.
We have
Yes. So
both.
one second, my Vadik, can you assist me a little
No
bit?
problem. Портик, иди сюда. We have
Vadik, can
also
you
we have both
assist?
red cats. Рыжий. Вадик meets Портик. Иди сюда. Блин, сюда больше. Эй, а вон Вадик. Слышишь, Вадик?
Vadik,
Смотри.
look at Vadik.
Вадик
Look
met Портик. Yes. Портик left. Он приветствует тоже. Very nice. Yes, we love cats on this channel.
Now is the sound better? I use my headphones.
Wow, that's a super loud voice from the cat. But yes, I think it's better right now. People comment in the chat. We're gonna have a nice talk with annaglobaltravel. Yeah, I don't hear myself anymore. That which is good. It's good.
It's better with headphones.
It sounds better. I'm sure.
Oh, great. Oh, Todd Smith is writing that said hi to Igor.
Yes.
Maybe I think it's your subscriber.
Yes, I hope many people will find this chat as this stream also from my and the new people, of course. We want to see and meet new people. You have your image has and now it continues. Yes. Vadik is very loud voice. But anyway, so yeah, really nice. Yeah, we can start. And
So
hello
I think
everybody. If I mention, I am also watching the chats from my other phone.
Great. So I said we can start talk a little bit about some topics, and then people can write questions. We can ask, and then we can continue.
Definitely.
So let's see. So guys, I hope you hear about yourself, where you're from, something about your job, and of course about your channel.
For sure.
What you want to say about yourself? People can know who are you.
So guys, I'm Igor in Russia, as the name says, I'm the world's only Igor in Russia. No, just kidding. And I'm a foreigner lived all my life in Europe, Finland, especially. Well, in Finland, and I was originally born in Soviet Latvia. But since 2016, I fell in love. I felt a huge, unbelievable connection with St. Petersburg, and that's the beginning. And since 2019, I started YouTubing because I wanted to share the amazing. I think something that a lot of people lack of, which is seeing the beauty of Russia. So I wanted to share. So yeah, I'm. What else about me? Well, this is my side thing. I'm also an explorer. I explore the First World War bases in Finland, and basically, I'm also filming own series all about Russian influence on the world. I filmed tons of locations of Russian influenced locations in Finland because Finland was part of Russia. Then filmed whenever I can. I filmed the Russian and Soviet influences around the world. I want to continue filming more and more. So shortly about me, I don't know, did I answer? It's hard to say shortly about something about myself, say something. So I said from this Igor in Russia perspective. I'm also a musician. What else am I? Yeah, I have a huge goal what I want to achieve with my channel, but trying to fight the YouTube algorithms currently, so that more and more people will find me. And by the way, Todd asked about super chat. I don't know. Can you support Anna's channel here? It doesn't seem you have. Do you have a monetization on, Anna?
Monetization. So do any monetization or donates on the chat?
Okay.
Because it's my first live, so I didn't know how to do it. So I just did monetization when I planned it.
Mm-hmm.
And oh,
Sometimes the internet is breaking. Is it me or is it you? Now I don't hear anything. Hello? Она пропала. Guys, can you hear me? Now I don't hear anything. Guys, if you're here, stay tuned. We're gonna... Yeah, there's a... technical problems, but I'm sure Anna will return, and here she is.
oh,
We
so
can...
I'm here. So
Guys, if you're here, stay tuned. Yes. We're gonna... Yeah, there's a... У нее с интернета. Yeah, it's there's... Maybe it's the Wi-Fi. I don't know. Do you have unlimited internet? Maybe you can use your... not Wi-Fi, your normal. I took my Wi-Fi off in case it doesn't work.
yeah. So you think maybe to shift from Wi-Fi to normal
You just check.
internet?
Yeah, you can just turn off Wi-Fi from your iPhone or phone.
No, yes, no. I use now Wi-Fi.
Maybe you should take it away and just use if it's unlimited internet. Do you have unlimited? Sorry, guys, we're now beginning.
I have unlimited Wi-Fi.
Not Wi-Fi, unlimited internet on your phone.
Now it's good. Okay,
Now
now
it's
it's
better.
good.
Now it's
Okay.
better. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And yes,
Okay,
Anna, do you,
super.
if you, I think Anna might have her PayPal link in description. Maybe I'm not sure. You can support Anna's stream here in our chat straight to her PayPal account, or is it so? Check it out.
Yes, guys, I also have PayPal. So we can and people can support chat if they send something to PayPal.
Yes, sure.
Yes, so I can write my PayPal, and if someone wants to support, so please you can send to.
You can put it in your on the comments, and you can pin it.
Put it in a comment.
Yeah, for example, during if you ask the second question, then you can do it. Meanwhile, I'll talk. Guys, give everybody hit the like button for Anna. Anna is doing the first live stream in this duo live stream, and I'm honored to be the first one. We did it already with Anna, a video on my channel about lots of different stuff. From a teacher perspective, you hear more about Anna's history, so you can also check out my channel, Igor in Russia, and you can see pretty recent video with Anna. We have over a 1 hour discussion, plus I made some clips about relationships, about what else, and learning Russian. We learned to say hello in 3 different ways in a short period of time. So go check it out as well after this video. Yes.
Yeah,
You should
my PayPal. Yeah.
So people were here from I don't know, from states. Was it Canada, in Italy, India?
Yeah, India and Russia, of course.
Yeah, I have very little Russian subscribers because my videos only in English. Plus, well, I don't know. It's that's the case, but I have also all around the world people following me my trips.
So good. Let's continue. I want to. Someone said. Todd said, I want to donate to Anna. I will send her some cash on PayPal. Oh, thank you, Todd. So I pin PayPal. It's email
Yes.
tsamartseva14 at gmail.com. So you can guys donate if you like what I do, what we do with Igor. You can
For
donate me.
sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Igor, could you tell us, please, what is your channel about? And very interesting question. I think we can start from this about travel to Russia, because I remember you told me that you share for people information how they can get visa, because some countries now has can get
Easy.
visa when they
Mm-hmm.
can travel to Russia, and how people can go to Russia. Also, some my friends from Italy, for example, and
Yes. Yeah.
from no, from Europe, I can say, and they're thinking how they can go to Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
Should they use? Of course, we don't have direct flights, and should they use Turkey or Dubai or maybe Helsinki? Because I heard some problem with one Russian girl when she traveled from Europe, or maybe from England. She
Mm-hmm.
traveled to St. Petersburg, and when she came to Finland, I don't remember was it Helsinki on which city, and
Probably.
she had 2 hours for transit, and Finland sent to her, stay in airplane, you can't move, stay in airplane, wait, and when gate will open you can go. And she said, but I need maybe to buy something, I need go
Yeah.
out maybe to get fresh air. They said no, and she was sitting in airplane. So this is
Okay.
interesting. Can you tell something how is the best go to Russia from other countries?
Yeah. Let's get back to that situation a bit later. But from the beginning, my channel is I have maybe too much videos, especially about St. Petersburg. Then I started to expanding to Kaliningrad. This summer I was in Moscow. Now, last month ago, I was in Veliki Novgorod and expanding the different smaller or bigger cities all around, depending on my possibilities. And I want to share basically, I personally want to see those cities and life. And what I love about Russia is like, you know, the Russian normal life. Sure, sightseeing locations, but then I go to like grocery stores. I go to shopping malls, film my Russian apartments. You know, the daily life. So that my aim is to bring people. Maybe in some ways it might be sounding weird currently, but bring people closer to each other uh, through real life and real people, because no matter what your political or what your prejudices about, there's a huge amount of prejudices about Russia in the world, too much. And I've lived all my life in a country which has tons of stereotypes and negative views about Russia, mostly because of history and most because of how the history's been reminded to people and brought in certain way. And I throw it all away. This is reality, and I'm sure my vision is that when people actually could, even with your help, for example, say hello in Russian, go first of all get interested in traveling to Russia for whatever reason. So you can say a couple of words in Russia, then you will see how the real normal day-to-day people will treat you. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be excellent, because everybody who's been to Russia always usually says, oh my God, the people, the hospitality, it's amazing. And it's pretty contrast to what you hear in the news. The Russians are evil. They're, all that horrible stuff. So this is my aim, and I filmed tons of videos. And I actually have. I'm the only one who has a Google Maps of every location, every path that I took, drawn in a map. It's always in my YouTube videos description. So you can click on the Google Maps so you can see exactly. If you want to go visit, forget about Google Street View. Forget about it. You can click and you can walk on those streets on certain locations with me, because you click on the location on my map, will open a link to my video, to the YouTube video, and I have all of my 1,660 videos that I made. They have been mapped out. So this is what I do. But I film location stuff, but also, yes, because I'm a foreigner, basically a foreigner, even though I have Russian roots and a bit more understanding about Russian. But basically, for some people, for Europeans, I might be a Russian, and for Russians, I'm European. So I have this possibility to use my status and maybe show you how to travel, for example. And I did this way before. So I have guide videos about exchanging money, getting your, for example, if you're staying a longer time, you can buy get a Russian bank card. Yes, you can get it for 15 minutes, no problem, as a foreigner, because remember, I am the same status as you are as a traveler. So, and also have videos about how to travel, especially in these current times, because there's only few entries you can do as a foreigner, well, as anybody. So I have guide videos and different playlists about it. And one of those is, for example, yeah, getting back to your question now, you can, if you want to travel to Russia, first of all, you need a visa. And I made a video about, because right now you can do a e-visa, electronic visa, which is technically it's free. You only have to pay administrative fee of $40 or euros. And there's almost 50 countries that can get this very easy e-visa in, it's, I think it's like 3 days or something like that. You can check it out, check that video on my channel, and it has all the necessary links. So when you have that visa, you can travel to Russia, let's say St. Petersburg, for example. You can travel, first of all, from Helsinki. There's 3 bus lines, and I've traveled in all of them, and I also explain what's the difference, usually the price. And you can travel by that. Then you can also travel, if you know how, there's a certain Telegram group, you can travel with somebody personally, just some guy or woman who travels, and you can papuchik, how do you call it?
Papuchik, yes.
Yeah,
In
that
Russian language, papuchik.
meaning somebody you travel along with. So
Yes.
but they're as expensive as the buses nowadays, because remember, back in the day, traveling by bus was I think it was the cheapest. Well, the cheapest were the Russian marshrutkas, small cars, and they traveled back to back shopping tours. It cost like 10 to 15 euros. Nowadays, then it was like 27, and after the pandemic, it was like it grew up. So right now it's almost from 50 to $100 euros for one direction. But still, you can travel by bus, and there's basically 3 main bus lines from Helsinki. You travel to St. Petersburg or to Viborg.
Do you travel by bus from Helsinki?
I've traveled. I traveled back then when there was no buses because of the pandemic. The borders were closed. I traveled in
And nowadays,
nowadays by bus. Nowadays by
by
bus. Yeah, I used to use these patpuchiki, these somebody who travels along, and officially they shouldn't be taking you with, because in Finland there's tons of laws. So basically, if you're somebody who takes money from somebody, you should be a taxi driver, and you should have a permit. So they technically, and they try to get a lot of people get busted at the border. Are you paying the money to this person? No, no, no. Nobody's paying anything. We're friends. But anyway, this is how it worked. But yeah, by bus. Then you can travel.
So do you mean that you take like someone from some guy who is living in Finland,
or Russia,
and
who's traveling
or
by car?
it could be Finland person or Finn or Russian, and you travel with him by his car, and you say just your friends.
There's hundreds and maybe hundreds of people traveling daily like this. Yeah.
How about people like, for example, if someone from Europe, like from Italy, if this person wants to go to Russia, or someone from India, or
it's the best way to choose these buses, because they are all also in English, except the Russian company, which is, I think it's only in Russian. It might be in English as well. And this way you get a proper confirmation on your email, your tickets, and all of this. So it's official. And you can actually return the tickets in case you need to in time. So it's like pretty, you will be satisfied with all the system, because it's pretty European in that way, that regards.
So you can say that you can recommend people have transit from Helsinki to St. Petersburg.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's the cheapest way, because otherwise you have to travel to Istanbul. Sure,
Istanbul?
Americans, probably it's easier for them to travel to Istanbul even, and from Istanbul take a flight to Moscow or St. Petersburg. And I think Serbia does this as well. I think
Also
you can.
Serbia.
I think so. I think
Mm-hmm.
so. But it's the rarer one. I never heard somebody travel. I think somebody told me that travel. So I get a lot of requests about e-visa stuff, even though I'm not like I have a lot of experience, but I'm not a specialist. But I know all the links and I can help people. Then people ask about accommodation because of this current situation. You cannot or get any hotels, right? So you can actually, and it took time because I used this app because I traveled to Moscow and I needed the same service. Ostrovok, ostrovok.ru.
Astrovok.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
guys,
the.
the
Hmm.
website Astrovok. I also recommend on my videos that it's a website astrovok.ru when you can book hotel because now people from other countries they can't
Yeah,
pay. And so you can book a hotel and then pay by cash in Moscow or in any Russian city when you stay. So you can
yeah,
use Astrovok. It's
definitely. And I think
definitely.
you can pay on location. You can some. I think somebody said that they could use the European card to pay for the reservation. So it's like system that goes around the well, boycotts or whatever, because hotels.com and different sites don't work anymore. They don't provide services to Russia because of this boycotts and because of this PR whitewashing
Mhm.
or whatever it is. So yes, and I give all kinds of guides about traveling, changing money, taking business cards, that type of stuff. So this is one of the many contents that I do. And somebody said I was just in Groot says, hi Groot. Yeah, I was just in Istanbul, Turkey. I want to visit Moscow, Russia, but the United States is so strict. I don't know what she, sorry, or she means, but a lot of people write me also that, oh, I would try to visit, but right now it's impossible. Like, what you mean it's impossible? And that's it's different thing if you don't want to because of the situation with Ukraine. If you don't want to travel, that's all right. But don't say that it's impossible. It's actually in some ways easier than before in some ways for Europeans to travel to Russia. Note that tourism is forbidden from
So, do you
Russia.
mean everyone can go to
Yeah,
Russia? Also, American people, Americans can go
yes,
easily
yes. And I made a
and get
video.
visa.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, it is. And I
So
think
no some problem. Don't Russia stop visa for some countries, or every country can travel? No, not
I
problem.
think every country can travel, and some countries that are officially, because of once again of the situation, they are marked as an unfriendly country because of their actions against Russia. So depending on your what is, if you're a man or a female, depending on that. But if you're like a younger male, for example, or they might ask you more questions for certain countries.
Mm.
That's UK, United States, but everybody's gone through, and they have to make sure that you don't have any ill will. But I'm pretty yeah. So there's a lot of details about that because I know that somebody might be questioned or questioned for 2 hours, and then I help people that actually you can, if you miss your bus because they have to go in some part, you can just hop on the
Mhm.
next one. I've seen that being done. So a lot of there's more different nuances, more details right now because of the
Yeah.
stuff that's going on with.
Yeah, so guys, you can write in comments now, or if you watch this vlog in recorded videos, you can write if you need video, me or Igor, or we can do together and do extra video, and we can talk only about this kind of topic
Hmm.
for how unfriendly countries can travel. So I think
Yeah,
if
but short
someone
answer is everybody can travel, and if you have nothing to hide, then you will be also let through if you have everything fine with the
Mhm.
papers. A lot of questions about the money, how much you can bring. You can bring 10,000 in cash, uh,
dollars,
dollars or euros. Yes, it's the same.
$10,000 and 10,000 euros.
Yeah,
Ah.
altogether it's altogether 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be enough in Russia. That's a huge money. If you're staying for 1 week, I would say, depending on, I don't know where you want to stay
Yeah.
at, but a few hundreds of
If
you. Yeah.
If you're not going to buy diamonds.
Yeah, if you're not gonna buy diamonds to your Russian girlfriend, then hundreds of euros is okay. But sure, bring 1,000, but make sure to exchange it in a good place with a good rate. And it's safe in Russia, but the rate changes every day. And if you have $1,000, and there's a difference. Let's say five rubles weaker for some reason. Right now it's like 102 rubles. Let's say it's 97 all of a sudden. You lose every dollar, you lose a 5 rubles, and that's a lot of money, especially when a 500 rubles in Russia, that's a one meal already in Russia.
Yeah.
A restaurant meal, it's let's say for one person 1,500. I don't know about Moscow. Let's say proper meal in an okay place, 2,000 rubles with drinks included. So that's
Mhm.
$20. But if you want to go Stalovaia style, which is a Russian
Stallone.
canteen, you can get it for 300, 400 rubles, and you get your tummy full of food. And I also do Stalovaias, by the way. People love Stalovaias. I buy the cheapest stuff, but the best stuff as well. I don't do anymore. I don't have any touristic stuff. I don't want to
Yeah.
go to tourist places. I love to eat in Stalovaias or like buy Russian fast food. And if my wife is with me, then we might go to like a good Georgian restaurant. Well, good, the best, tastiest restaurants in Russia. I think, Anna, tell me if you agree. The best places are the ones that locals go to. It's not necessarily in the center. It's in the suburban centers, because you have a lot of centers all around Moscow, all around St. Petersburg. Probably the best ones are even further from the center, like where everybody go to, because that's where people live. Do you agree?
Yes,
The
yes, of course.
tastiest restaurants.
The tastiest.
Yeah, самые
Uh,
вкусные.
I know the restaurant Mumu, for
Yeah,
example.
Momo. It's a burger place,
Mumu,
right?
not burger. It's Russian home cooking food. Mumu,
Ah,
when it's a cow.
yeah. Well,
The-
in St. Petersburg, Momo is actually a burger place, so it's the same name. It's different.
In
Okay.
Moscow we have wet of restaurants. Mumu, it's cheap one. Of course, it's not high and top level of food, but
Yeah.
it's middle class food. And also on Red Square you can find this cafe.
Ah,
And if yes, and and actually in front of this restaurant it stays some cow, and you can try Russian food like vinaigrette or olivier, insalata
yeah.
russa, Russian borsch soup, and so on, and they have cheap
I had
cheap
the
food.
best. I had the best salyanka. It's a Russian soup, salyanka soup, in
Solянка soup.
in Novgorod
Mhm.
Basic Stolova like a month ago. It was amazing. It was simply amazing. So, and it cost me like
Yeah.
$1.
Oh, great. Okay, so Igor,
Оля,
let's
ты
speak
смотришь?
about
I thought you. Yeah.
Oля, she's Russian wife of Igor, and
Yes.
we will talk. Guys, watch full video because in the end we will speak about love. So I will ask Igor.
Okay.
Yes, and I have question from one my Russian subscriber, of course, from woman, and she asked why Igor married with Russian girl. Can he compare Russian woman and Finland woman? So, but we will speak about it later because it's
I have
interesting.
pressure on me.
Okay, so Igor, tell us please very interesting about education. Uh, so I have one friend. He is studying now for psychologist, and he told me that he very interested in studying in Finland, and he said, and not only he, and statistics said that
Hmm.
Finland is the best for kids. So
Yeah.
it's the best system. So when we compare education in other countries, and statistics say that Finland is the best for kids. It's the best method when kids feel free. There are no pressure, and we had some fight with this my friend because why? No, I mean fight. I mean talking
Yeah.
fight, of course, because I'm a Russian teacher. I am used to live all my life in Russia, and method in Russia is to be strict.
Yeah.
Maybe I can compare it with England, actually, this teaching system also similar in England means when teacher is strict, very and students must be hardworking, and it works in school and in universities. And we used to use these strict methods. Of course, I don't say that I am 100% strict. I try to be maybe middle. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I can be strict. And I said, and I also thought all my life that really for teaching and for studying, student must feel stress. And this friend, he is studying in other country. He's studying in Italy. He's learning psychology, and he
Mm-hmm.
said, "No, you are not true. I think I follow to Finland method, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that all kids and all students from universities, the best way for getting all knowledge, it's only without stress when you feel relaxed." And I want to ask you, what do you think about it? Because you used to
Mm-hmm.
communicate with Russians and also you live in Finland. What do you think? No, tell us about Finland schools. Is it really true? And if you compare Finland and Russia education systems, what do you think? Do we need stress or not?
Uh, you should actually. Well, I'm not possibly the best person to answer, but I can tell it from my experience, from my point of view, because I've been,
Yes.
yeah, because
Mhm.
I've been through. I've studied from first class all the way to university. I studied in Finland, so I have that, and I know about Russian studies, which, but I haven't been there. But you're correct. I think the strictness and, well, let's say traditionalist approach is more rushing, and Finland, if we're talking about the kids' education, has been in the news that it's the best in the world for a few years now, I think, and I'm pretty sure that's a in a most cases the best thing for a child. Probably, I'm not perfect to say, but I think so. Yes, it's totally different approach. In Finland, it's all about your personal space, kind of, and I think even that the teachers don't have the right to touch you. Even there's a this type of thing, and
In Finland, teachers can touch.
I don't think so. No, no. And
Ah,
it's like in Finland, it goes a lot throughout the whole life. You have this personal space, and in Finland, actually, the
oh.
personal space, it's a lot of jokes about it, but it's pretty huge because and in Russia, I have to jump to the other topic as well. For example, when people you stand in line in Russia, people can come to you like this close and and they don't feel that's like. Breaking your personal space. But in Finland, you basically, if you're like 1 meter is too close, and
So it's really, I heard this rule 1 meter. When you
it's
can
probably more.
communicate with people, you must keep
And Russians
minimum
come
1 meter.
close always, and also because the
Yeah.
city life is also very different. There's these old big villages in Finland, basically, live in Helsinki, 500,000-600,000, and it's the biggest city. So in Russia, everywhere you go, there's been always a lot of people, right? So I think that's my theory. So people have to come close because there's always competition as well. That's same thing about driving. If not you, then me. And if I don't do it, somebody else will cut me off. That ideology. But yes, very different, to totally different approach. And the study says it's the best way for kids. But then again, to the higher education, let's say, like after the kids age, let's say university, same thing. Basically, it's not very sometimes it depends on the teacher, but I think in most parts it's very informal or informal, meaning you,
Informal.
yeah, in Finland you don't say Mrs. or something. You say like hey Anna, and
Yes.
it's all, and actually, and that tells a lot of stuff. And for example, if somebody continues to say you as вежливо, like not, Mister, like something like that,
Hmm.
it makes you old, and that's like almost like rude. It becomes in some ways rude to talk about you not with your first name, but talk to you as, like, for example, Miss something, and or refer as well, you with a big Y.
Hmm.
No,
So
вежливо. the like
Вежливо,
yeah,
in polite,
polite form, yeah.
informal way.
And that always, that can mean that you're very old, because basically formal way is supposed to be used, let's say 60, 70 plus, most parts. It all,
Ah,
sure, it depends on some people, but yeah. So, and the system is different. Then there's the University of Applied Sciences, and there's the traditional university in Finland. There's a whole different whole student culture with student coveralls. Dress, people dress up in the student overalls. They have these badges. A lot of drinking, traditional Finnish drinking, student drinking. There's a lot of whole different thing we can discuss about. So there's a lot of aspects that give you, fulfill you during your life as a student. It's not all about just studying and stress. On the contrary, but sure, then again, a lot of Finns statistically are very stressed. I think the young people's, even though the system is not stressful, but people feel more stressed than before. I think I saw some studies that young people are even more stressed than in history ever. I don't know for what reasons, but this is the case. And then again, there's the thing about the depression. We don't want to talk about it, but Finland is one of, I think, with the most highest, huge numbers of depression among certain ages. And then there's already,
really?
yes, and Finland is also top numbers in self-harm, or what you call it, when you, I don't think we can say that word on YouTube, but when you like, let's use Arnold Schwarzenegger term, terminate yourself. A lot of people kill themselves in numbers
Ah.
statistically. So there's
Why do
this
you
side.
think it? Because actually it's very strange because if kids have a good education system, so means because most of young people they feel stress after school because in school teachers don't
Hmm.
understand kids, teachers very strict, very stressful studying system. But why if in Finland teachers friendly, as you said, they say hi, they don't say like in Russia some
Yeah.
polite way for talking. Why?
It's probably, I think, is
Pe-
maybe genetics or something like,
genetic.
yeah, it's something like in historical aspects. I think it's because of that, maybe. And
Mm,
which, yeah, interesting question, especially when Finland is voted the most happiest country in the world at the same time, like 2, 3 years in a row. So this is like
mm,
interesting, right? But I think there's genetics as well, because, for example, I know that Russian people always, for example, Russia had many wars periodically all the
yeah.
time. Russia had changes of, like, they had revolutions, they had to experience a lot. That's why I think Russians have a thick skin. They can go through anything. So
Hmm.
for example, that the ruble crashes once again, or almost crashes.
Yeah.
So people, there's no panic. Yeah, there's no panic, right?
Inflation, inflation, always.
Inflation,
Yes, also, yes, it's very hard to make Russian person stressful.
yeah, but that's what
Must happen something really terrible.
no, I hope nothing will happen very terrible. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's what Europeans cannot understand, because anytime there's something huge going on in Russia, which probably would break a European country in some ways, and Russia is like, okay, so what? Boom, everything is all right. And there's also this mentality, and maybe genetics and historical genetics, I don't know, that
Mm.
people actually can be happy. People say that Russians are really like, well, that people are. Hold up, my lights went off. Hey, where's my
Ah,
light?
yeah.
That's people say that Russians walk with a bad, sad face on their face, but actually Russians then again know how to relax and party and enjoy the small things. People. That's why you see people. They don't need like a huge bar night, because you see normal people just going out in a park, having a great time with themselves, with each other, without any like huge plans. They know how to relax in some, like the normal people. So yeah, this is my answer to your very hard question about education.
Yeah, and finally, if you, what do you recommend? For example, if you, for example, imagine that if you have kids, and when do you want your kids to grow and study? If you compare Russian schools and Finland,
Hmm.
what do you think actually? What is really Finland schools will be better
Yeah,
studies?
it depends. I think, well, I don't want to compare, plus I don't want to sound unpatriotic in any ways, but maybe Finland is in that case maybe even better because you have more options in some ways. One thing that I wanted to ask you about is that also that in Russia there's a, I think, is it a problem, but there is a some sort of, is there a corruption in diplomas in some places, or might there be? For example, then again, in Finland, there's zero corruption in this place. So basically, if you get a diploma, your diploma is equal to this Schengen area. What you call it? I forgot the word. So it's leveled with every country in the Europe, and it's valid. And plus, there's this point that you didn't buy it. Is there a is it so? Is it still, or is it old news that in Russia you can, you know?
Actually, yes, it happens. Personally, I have never faced with these situations, but I can say that why Russia is easy for studying. It's not only about corruption, also, but that means that you can buy everything if you have money. For
Okay,
example,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can compare with China. I have students from China, and for example, no, as we speak about education, for example, I know that in China is very, very strong that if
Hmm.
you, for example, graduated school with a low score, you will not get admission in high level universities. So it's this is the rule in China. So if you study not good in school, so you can't study in good university, and if you study bad, you will not get a job. So in Russia, how you can fix the problem, and that's why we have some students from China who is not good students in China, because
Hmm.
in Russia, and what do especially rich parents of these kids, they pay. So if you pay, welcome. Yes, if you can if you can't pass exam, okay, you can pay again and study one more. No one, I know, I remember one student, he was studying language 7 years,
Well,
but
he didn't speak, but
instead,
didn't speak, right?
yeah, yeah, because every year he continue. So there is no limit. So if you have money, you can pay and get admission in any university. Of course, if you
Hmm.
you must be really terrible student. You if you really don't go to classes, you don't pass exams. Of course, you can lose it,
Yeah,
or you can pay again and start from zero. Of course, but you have this chance. But in China, no. If you passed not good exams, so you lose everything and you
everything.
will
Yeah.
never find the job. And that's why the students come to Russia. For example, they get, like I work in MSU, Moscow State University, by Lomonosov, MGU. And what they do, they buy Russian language course, study. Then when they reach B1 level, they can get admission in this MGU and graduate. And this is very top university in China. No, I mean for China. And then they
Hmm.
come back to China and get high level jobs, because no one will come to Russia and check, do these students really study hard? They know,
Yeah.
okay, you graduated this university. So so
Yeah.
so I want to say this. I can't say about corruption because I have never saw it in real. So I can't say
But it
it,
can
but I
happen.
can.
Yeah.
It can happen, but I can say that if you have money, you can study, pay, and no one is. So your schools rates not important. Also, if you were the terrible student in school, it's not a problem to get admission and good university.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it will be maybe problem for you later to pass exams. Yes, but to start, everyone has chance. So this is a,
Yeah.
I think, good opportunity.
But
Yeah.
Russians can still also apply to study in Finland as well. But nowadays, for a few years, it's not free anymore like it used to be. So it's a big
Mm.
question. It's like depend on the university. But let's say It's like closer to 10,000 euros dollars per month per year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big question because you can pay a little bit more and get like universities that are highly respected in the world compared to Finland. Depending on your plan, do you want to maybe come to Finland, study, get to work, stay? I don't know, whatever. But that's fine. But as a university level, it depends. If you wanna, you can get the better value for the money from elsewhere. Some might say, but yeah. So for foreigners outside Schengen, it's not free anymore to study in Finland for a few years already. All right, good
Okay,
topic.
Igor, could you tell us, please, about your Russian language studying? Yes, as I know, you were born in Soviet Latvia,
Hmm.
but you came to the Finland when you were a kid. And how did you learn Russian? And also, could you tell us, please, about education online? Guys, you can see I share in our
Chat.
chat. I will share again. Yes, you can go to my website annaglobaltravel.ru. I created online course, and Igor also
Checked it out. Yes.
yes, checked it out. And Igor, what you can say about what do you think about this course? You saw my videos, and can you recommend people to learn Russian online, or maybe you can say, oh, Anna, I don't like this course, guys. It's better to learn offline. For no, for example, if someone
Hmm.
can't come to Russia, or if someone is thinking now, or it could be people from America who is watching us now, from India, from Europe. If someone is thinking, should I come to Russia for studying Russian language? Should I found a local Russian language teacher, or maybe I can buy Anna's course and learn
Yeah.
Russian online? Is it effectively? Tell us about your experience with learning
Can I,
Russian.
before answering the question, can I just answer a couple of questions in the chat shortly?
Yes, guys.
Yes.
You can write your questions about two topics which we discussed about education. If you have a question about travel
Hmm.
to Igor or for
There's
me,
there's only true asks, can I visit Russia for first time? But I'm scared about it, how things there. This is very typical thing, and I'm not surprised that you have these feelings because you probably hear in the news now is not good time to travel. You know why not? You know, so things are. It's my I don't know. Do people believe me or not? But I truly feel safer in St. Petersburg or Russia wherever I go, like for sure, because Russian streets are usually there's no shady people anywhere. You know, not so there's a lot of security, enough security everywhere, and the life in Russia is so. Despite what you hear in the news, people live their life normally, and hold up, the lights still off.
light again.
Yeah. So yeah, you can travel, and there's no. You will see that you will see it instantly after you cross the border, after your prejudices start to like get shocked. And then there's also a question about. Sorry, I just noticed then while we were talking. Groot says, "I would
Mhm.
love to go to Russia, and you will one day." Groot says from America. Somebody asked this, how much time to take for a visa to travel to Russia? So this e-visa, I read that it was like, I think it's like 3 days approximately, just few days, and you get your visa, and you have to just apply, like, I don't know, was it 7 days or something? Go check it out, my video there about e-visa. You can write e-visa Russia Igor and you'll find it. So yeah, you can get it relatively fast if everything is okay. That's my
You can see
answers.
Anu Josh. Oh, hello, Anu. He is my student also.
Ah,
Anu
nice.
from India. Yes, and Anu he lived in Moscow 1 year.
Hmm.
Now Anu in India, and he also graduated one university. And he was study 1 year. He study Russian language course, and Anu is writing. I have felt the most safe in Moscow than anywhere in the world ever. Guys, really, you
I
can
agree.
see, yes, it's really safety. Yes, and also special American people. I have never been in America, so American people told me that in America, um, it's a little bit scary go on the street because everyone can
Yeah,
have guns, and really, I can say in Moscow,
it's
really
crazy
safety.
stuff.
So, for example, I am a woman. I can come back home late, in midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and no
Yep.
problem. No one is touching me. In Moscow, we have cameras. It's smart. If I say correct,
Face
AI,
ID. Hmm.
искусственный интеллект. How,
Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence.
AI short abbreviation,
Yep.
and how it works that when we go outside, a lot of cameras screen our face, and if someone did something bad, some maybe thief to steal something and so on,
Hmm.
or hurt someone, the camera will find this person. So it's very big problem. To hide from police. So, and no one, also I go in metro, my bag is always open, and it's
Yep.
no one take my phone or money. I would say that I look like rich, but
Yeah.
really no one touch me. I remember in the past, I don't remember, maybe 20 years ago, 15, really, it was dangerous. Like also my mom, or I don't remember, maybe her friend, female friend, when she came out from metro, she looked at her back and it was cut by knife, and someone stole something from her back. Now it's
Hmm.
impossible. So no one is stealing something. No, of course can be, but no,
It
no,
can
really.
be any, but don't. You shouldn't be stupid. That's what
Yeah,
basically.
it's really stupid because no one wants to get risk to steal something. No one, because
Mm,
it's easy go to the prison, so no one do it. It's really safety, I can say. Yeah.
yeah. But for example, if you watch any like not news, if you watch which is more reliable, let's say you watch TikTok or something, there's like tons of masses, Berlin, is it Malmo, Stockholm, like crazy stuff happening there, and you don't see that. But if in Russia there's like, let's say in St. Petersburg or Moscow, there's like, well, St. Petersburg 7 million people, Moscow 14 to 20 million, and there's like a 500 people gathering sometimes, I don't know. Oh, masses are outside. 500 St. Petersburg is a normal. It's nothing. It's one wagon of. It's a metro wagon of people. That's nothing. And you should watch what's going on in the world. And it's seriously like states. I really love the culture and stuff, but it's crazy what's happening there. You know, with all the junkies outside and the Chicago. Like it's crazy, and that's what a lot of Americans who have a little bit more knowledge than the common person in states, for example, or Europe, they say that hell, this is the safest place ever, and yeah, for sure. So no need to worry about that. And if you're a
Yeah.
foreigner, people actually treat you better most of the
Yes,
time.
yes, yes, yes. Really, Russian people. It's really. I don't know why Russian people very, very hospitality. We Russian people can hate each other, can hate our neighbor, but we love foreigners.
Yeah,
Really, if you foreigners, you're always welcome. All Russian people will treat you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and somebody said you don't need to sell me the idea. No, the Russia is great, but by the way, even though I have this burning flame that I want to promote it, but I actually don't promote anything. I just say as I feel it, as I see it, because I'm like amazed that people still don't know anything about Russia, whether no matter what's going on in the world. So I'm not actually like selling anything. I just want to, if you want to, I know I can help by telling you facts. And sure, I can say negative things as well if we get to those things. For example, we talked about it. I mentioned about the possible like university corruption, and you answered. You know, it's this is more open than maybe some other topics in the world. But yeah, hello Johnny. By the way, hello Johnny and Todd. I
Hello,
recognize few
Johnny.
names. Nice to see you. But anyway, yeah. Then you asked me a question, and I forgot to answer about studying Russian. So I studied Russian is my native
And about my
language.
course.
Yes, yes. My language is. I never studied Russian, and that's why. Well, my wife says it's getting like amazingly better. But for you European or for your global people, not Russians, my language is like basically on the level of a native. But the Russian person will see here and there, start to hear pretty fast some accents, and maybe because I don't have enough of vocabulary. But I can manage basically to live and explain myself. And you can always say, by the way, I'm a foreigner, and people like, okay. But anyway, that's my joker special card. But so I never studied Russian, but I spoke Russian only with my at home, which means it's on an elementary level. But somehow I have this foundation of language, which means ever since I fell in love and opened my eyes to Russia and started to go there like almost weekly since 2017, it's been getting better because I absorb Russian very fast, because for me it's easier, sure. But if I would study currently, and also with my wife, for example, I spend more time watching movies and programs and subscribing to Russian, different profiles and stuff. So that helps a lot. And same thing with my English. Why my English? I think it's pretty cool sounding. It's
Yes, very good. Awesome.
because I studied, but then again I made rap music, so I heard tons and thousands of music, and I practiced uh, my rapping
Ah.
for many years since 2002. So that's why, and I absorbed the same way some American styles of different, because yeah. So right now, by the way, it's online is the thing, right? Especially when
Mhm.
people, it's hard to travel if you want to travel to Russia. But Russia, it's a language that you definitely need, because despite what you hear, Eastern Europe you can manage in many places only in Russian. Baltic states, they don't want to speak. Well, they do speak actually. Let's say other Eastern countries, etc. So and Russia, of course. So online it should definitely be the choice of your studying. And I checked out your website as well, because we practice a little bit online in my video on my
Yeah.
channel, just saying hello, добрый день. But definitely you have this platform, and you provide everything that people basically need. I think you're on the right path, and you have a good, by the way, feedback from people. There was a person from Pakistan in your presentation with Pakistan, and was it Kenya? So African country,
Nigeria, from
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Yes, yes, yes. So I have a Telegram chat. So, and my program is that I have now one Telegram chat is free. Everyone can go on Global Travel, also
Hmm.
Telegram chat. And from my course, students get my feedback. So it means
Yeah.
that everyone can study by himself. So it's
Yes.
also, it's, so this course, it is the best for introverts and for extroverts.
Yeah.
For example, if you introvert and you don't like to communicate with other people, you
Yeah.
can study by yourself and have chat, type your
Hmm.
homework. Or if you're extrovert and you need communication, you can be very active in chat. Like you saw my students, they sent video, for example, the homework, how to
Yeah.
say in
Yeah. I checked.
Russian.
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, thank you, and people say доброе утро and send a video, and other guys can comment it, and I check personally. So it's always feedback,
Yeah.
and yes, and this
So
is, I think, this is the
I
best
think,
also for busy people will be good.
yeah, online definitely, and go check out Anna's online platform on the link. This definitely, I think the best thing about you, because you're a Russian teacher, that's great, and you have a platform which is probably, it's not revolutionary, but this is how it works in the best way, right?
Yeah,
But I think one thing that is great is same thing as in any marketing, is actually the person, and you have this drive and energy that people should get like energized, and you are probably for many the driving force in language learning with your courses, because they get to feed off you, get your energy the way you, I don't
yes,
know,
yes.
I don't know, do you intention, do you know about, do you see yourself from a mirror, but you have this like energy positive thing about you, that's so,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. Todd is writing, I am afraid to take lesson from Anna. Todd, why? Why do you afraid?
Yeah, because you probably, I don't know, I think you are strict probably, which is good because people should learn Russian always in a Russian way, because the strictness um, traditional viewpoint is something that you will get across in Russia. And if you break it, you will cause a disturbance and people won't understand you. I don't know if you understand what I mean. In daily life, for example, the way you behave, politeness, or like, for example, you will, with the strictness, you might understand people administrate Russian administration better because it's like this. They are really strict. But then
Yeah.
again, but on the contrast, they can be very good when you get to, introduce yourself and get a connection. All of a sudden, things happen much easier than for everybody else. This is,
Yes, yes, Todd is writing strict. Todd, don't
yes,
worry. In my course, I'm not strict.
yeah.
Not
All right,
not
Todd
strict.
is taking your course, by the way. Nice.
Yes. Oh,
Todd,
wow.
you should
I'm going to
definitely.
take your course. Wow, great.
I wanna hear how Todd is then
Where
proceeding.
where Todd is from, Igor? Is
I think
he from America?
Todd. You're from States. I think so. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Todd Smith. Yes, it's typical American second name, Smith.
Agent Smith,
Yes, Agent Smith.
foreign
Yes,
agent
yes.
Igor. What else
Mm-hmm.
do you have? What topic we change, or are we
Ah,
continue? Not change. Continue.
yes,
California. Yes, Cali.
Todd from Welcome to the Hotel
I
California, very
I was,
popular song.
but I was thinking about. Oh my God, go in. It's Miami. Sorry, I'm going to
Mm.
Miami. Sorry, California is a different. But
Yeah, yeah.
Californication, Cali, the legendary place. Virginia is here.
Growth from Virginia. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
States is so great. I think USA and Russia, they should be friends, but culturally, that's so awesome because both are huge countries. Sure, Russia is bigger, but there's like so different. In America, different states have totally different like history, culture, and the stuff going on. The food culture is great. And by the way, Milanovich family, what's Milanovich?
Milanovich family. Yes, he
Yeah,
also sent something, right?
he
What?
said that
What?
food is bad, and he said that as a chef. But I know he visited Moscow a lot. But St.
Yeah.
Petersburg is the culinary capital of Russia. So I think I don't agree with you about Moscow, but
Yes,
St.
yes.
Petersburg should be better, even
Yes,
compared to Moscow.
the history is the first restaurants in Russia. They happened in St. Petersburg in more when because St. Petersburg in past it was a capital of Russia, and in Moscow we had a traktir. We called the traktir means in Russian language something like stоловая. It's a place when you self-service
Hmm.
and a little bit root place. And St. Petersburg was the first city in Russia when it starts restaurants
Yep,
and
yep.
people. Yes, and
And
people.
also, I think Russia's oldest rock store is in St. Petersburg. I filmed it, so a lot of firsts in St. Petersburg as well. But Moscow is
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Loved it. Want to get back. I
Mhm.
will get back to there during Christmas. We should do a live feed or video, not maybe
Oh.
live, but we should do some live stuff and meet up with Joseph, expat American, and get a huge super video.
Yeah. So, Igor, next question is about my Russian friends ask me. No, it will
Hmm.
be two questions in one topic. So, question first is why foreigners learn Russian. So I have so many examples. I see so many foreigners from other countries who is learning Russian in America, in Europe, especially if it's unfriendly country like America.
Hmm.
Why people in America learn Russian? I mean, if of course we will not say speak about now about diplomats or military people. I know that there are a lot of military people learn Russian because they want to join the army maybe or some diplomats. I will not say about people who belongs to political politic, let's say about no, normal people who is not who doesn't have some connection with politic. Why do these people learn Russian? And for you, second question, why do you want to move to Russia? Because most of
Hmm.
people, they, especially also Russian people, they must learn English, and most of Russians, they want to move to Europe, especially in Finland, in America, and Russian people interested to know why you foreigners learn Russian and why you want to move to Russia.
Well, yeah, it's I guess the I'm not equivalent to the foreigners wanting to learn Russian, but if I could jump in those shoes once again, so I'd say that
Hmm.
reasons why to learn Russia is well, there's huge possibilities that people always like to downplay nowadays about Russia, but huge possibilities in business. Russia is um, depending, well, if we forget this current situation right now because it's absurd with all the sanctions and stuff, but it won't last long. It can't, and you cannot shut down Russia, even though some unfriendly countries try to. It's just impossible. Like yeah, it was said nicely that Russia is so huge that it's impossible. And why you should learn Russia? It's still quite, in many ways, it's undeveloped. A lot of stuff is copied from the Western because Russia has been in a Russian federation since the 90s. That makes it 30 years. So there's a lot of stuff that can be developed fast. And right now, when all the a lot of Europe, I don't know, I don't know, thousands of companies left Russia, there's always possibilities. So when the situation gets easier, you need to, if you, in the business aspect, you can get a lot of from Russia, but you need in order to break into Russia in business, the language is most important. Of course, you will have maybe some people, translating, but you need to understand through language the Russian mentality. That's something that's worth, I don't know, it's priceless. So definitely because of the aspect, that aspect. And then again, people just to wanting to learn more. I think there's a lot of popular languages, but Russia is definitely something there's so much history and culture in Russia that's like it's so you cannot understand how much. So, in order to get into that, tap into that world, language is once again the possibility. And then again, maybe travel and tourism. Sure, Moscow, St. Petersburg, and then there's this little place called Siberia, and with all the world's huge, you know, places, and you cannot go there without speaking Russian. So depends on what you're searching for. And then again, then a lot of people want a Russian girlfriend or wife, and then again, the language is the key to that. Just
Yes.
mentioning few choices, and why I want to move to Russia. Well, it's my personal view. I'm not comparing. I don't want to travel to Russia because it's better there, or I get more money there. It's nothing like that. It's purely for me. It's purely emotional, and for me, for example, I have the history. I've never felt more home as in Russia, and that's something I just noticed when I traveled properly first time. I've traveled to Russia before, and I always felt something, but there's something spiritual about it. The
Mm.
Russian people, of course, my religion, the lifestyle, the enormousness of things to see, things to do. For me, it's something, feels like home. So that's the main reason. And personally, I feel like I have this goal that I want to achieve. First, I have to become like a full-time travel vlogger. I don't know what I am. I have also other channels than YouTube. I have Facebook, for example. So I try to, if there's possibility doing this full time, I have no reason not. If you have work and if you want to move to Russia, that's fine because nobody needs you there in Russia without work and money. Nobody needs you
Yeah.
this. Yeah, but
In any country, I think no one is waiting you without money, without working. Yeah.
Well, it depends. There's a lot of Europe
Interesting.
was full of people, and the same thing. America gets they are called economic. Some are refugees, but a lot of them. For example, I watched today. Once again, I love this channel on YouTube. Peter Santinello. He travels. He makes this series about America, and he's asked about this border situation in states. And there's millions of Mexicans and South Americans traveling to Russia illegally,
Uh-huh.
and they cross the border and they seek for asylum. And I heard today in this interview that approximately actually 1 out of 10 is legit refugees seeking for asylum, and others are like so-called economic people. But so people travel there, and if they're with other reasons. So, and Europe is full of these people as well. And sure, that's a legit reason for them. But Russia don't take people in just for for you to enjoy some kind of huge social benefits, which, for example, many European countries offer. So yeah, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
the reason.
true.
I feel if we get serious in Russia, it's for me it's the best place in the world. Like St. Petersburg, especially, and I guess I'm personally just finding myself because that's something I guess didn't know, but that's something that I always wanted to see, and I was, I'm like a Russian expat outside Russia. Never, I wasn't born in Russia. I didn't live in Russia, but it feels home. And yes, I'm being honest, and I always say that to everybody. And yeah, that's the reason.
So,
But I need
uh,
I'm not going there because I want to go there. That's the main point, to get into Russia and stay there. I want to build my maybe influencer career in that way that I can stay there as well, because now it's hard to also travel. But every time I travel there, it feels like coming home.
so do you mean that you love Russia because of Russian
All
mentality,
for all the
Russian
right
people?
reasons. So for all the right reasons, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Russian people, Russian mentality. Yeah, I love even the most Russian thing, which is not something that tourists love and want to see. I love Russian suburbs. I love the
Ah,
Khrushchevkas from. I think they're the best.
Khrushchevka, wow.
The suburbs, the neighborhoods, not necessarily the apartments. I love,
Mm-hmm.
but there's probably some kind of a nostalgia thing as well, because Soviet countries are all alike. Soviet neighborhoods are all
Mm.
alike. So I feel like every time I go to older, like 60s, 70s era, Khrushchevka, Brezhnevkas, it feels like coming home in some ways, even though I live in Russia, in St. Petersburg, in much newer apartment. But I love the sound. I love the vibe of the life. I love when there's a lot of people. Every time you go into your Russian house, for example, it's always, it seems like there's always new neighbor that you meet, because there's so many people. And it's a good contrast for me to Finland, where it's very little people, and sometimes you see almost nobody. So yeah,
Ah,
that type of emotional answer I can give you. But
okay, thank you.
I feel like I could show you, because of this foreigner background, I can use it to my advantage, to the, I don't know, benefit of the world, to make it more uh, equal in this, from the travel aspect. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it depends. Let's see where this goes. I'm trying hard with the channel, filming tons of. Nowadays, I don't travel to Russia, and I always do work. You know.
What do you want to do if you move to, for example, you said you like St. Petersburg. If you move to St. Petersburg, what kind of job are you going to do here?
Well, I want to do this influencer thing, even though my channel is, I think it's shadow banned right now. I think your
Mm-hmm.
channel is as well a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
I have different projects with this traveling thing, so I hope I can do this and build on my brand, because I feel this video production I've done to other companies before this situation with Russia and Ukraine. I've done videos to promote Russian language to Finnish people, and the Finnish culture to Russian people. So I've done
Mm.
all types of stuff and video projects. So then again, my channels, for example, I get 1 million to 3 million people reach every month on Facebook. So that's a money value there. So I can, bridge the gap on different channels. So I would like to go and travel and explore Russia as a main job, and not just traveling, but making influence. Influence people.
Mhm.
So I think that's a job also, as you know. Filming
Yeah.
videos it's a hard work.
So are you, does it mean that we can call your profession videograph? Is it videography or
I guess
how
so, a little
can?
bit as well. Even though nowadays my videos are more because I want to release more, so I don't edit them that much. But I used to edit,
Mhm.
use drone videos and stuff, and make a.
Oh.
And now it's like I'm going out, I'm talking live. I'd rather not cut anything because it's easier to release it. So, and maybe it's also a good thing because this way it's the most realistic way to
Mhm.
show. But videographer, influencer, blogger, YouTuber, a marketeer. My main job is marketeer. I'm in marketing, so
Mhm.
social media marketing and all kind of stuff, and also performer. I think things come together, and I
Yeah.
hope I need just a bigger break. Sanjay says
Yeah. So
1660
let's.
videos. Check it out.
Yeah, guys, you can write your questions. And we will check your questions, comments, and don't forget if you want to support me, you can see I tap my PayPal,
Hmm.
tsamartseva14@gmail.com. This is my PayPal if you want to support this chat. Write your comments, and then we will go for last question, for last
And push
topic,
likes as well. Everybody,
and
get this
push
video.
likes.
Push it real good.
Yeah.
By the way, can I ask you what level? Somebody asked my level, but Russian is my native language, but it's not on the same level as the native speaker. But what my Russian, we haven't spoken that much in Russian actually, but
Yes, we have.
what
Yes,
level
no,
it could be?
tell something. Can you tell a few words about yourself in Russian, as
Can
you
you?
said
And you
that,
will make
like,
and this way you can put me on some level. Is that so?
yes,
All right. I think I want to. All right, let's
no,
go.
just 2 minutes, 2 2 minutes
I've never
in Russian
spoken in
about.
Russian. I just answered some questions on live streams sometimes. All right. Здравствуйте,
Okay,
меня зовут...
first Russian. Okay.
First Russian experience by Igor in Russia. All right, Igor speaking Russian. Here we go. Здравствуйте, меня зовут Игорь. Я живу в Финляндии, но моя мечта жить и снимать Санкт-Петербург, Москву и всю Россию. Я уже 4 года снимаю мой канал и стараюсь продвинуть, возможно, быстро, возможно, высоко мой канал. Сейчас очень приятно стримить с annaglobaltravel и разговаривать о России. Интересно, какой уровень у меня на русского языка. И это B1, C1 или A1 или что там такое, не помню. Хочу узнать, на каком уровне мой язык. Thank you.
Хорошо. So guys, now Igor he was speaking in Russian, and I'm a professional Russian teacher. Really, I can understand your level without exam. Of course, I can say it's 100%. So when you speak with me, I can say the level. So we have the system of, I can say for everyone because most of people, they don't know the system. So we have a system of languages. It's from A1 till C2. It's A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. For understanding, C2, it's native speaker. For example, I'm Russian and my Russian level is C2. And it's the same level for English, for Italian language, for others. What does it mean? That A1 means when you reach A1, it's elementary level, means you know basic Russian words and you can speak with easy sentences when you use Russian cases for only nouns. So means that you can change endings in correct way for nouns. For example, you will say это мой кот. This is my cat. From the level A2, it's basic. You can use adjective. So you will say "Это мой рыжий кот." It's my red cat, and you will use the adjectives in correct way. And your vocabulary is more, and you know more grammar rules. A2. Next level B1. This is middle one. It's pre-intermediate, means that with this level you can pass exams and start to study in Russian university. You have wide vocabulary, but you still can do some mistakes. Next, B2, and I think Igor is your level B2. What does
Oh,
it mean? Yes, B2, maybe B2. I didn't speak with you a lot, but what I listen now, I can say that I can say B2. What does it mean, B2? B2 means that you don't need to learn any grammar, because on the level B2 we stop learning grammar. It's the same in English. It means your level is upper intermediate, and it means that you can speak very well, but you need to improve, of course, your vocabulary.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
because you can do some small mistakes in when we use, for example, the verb делать, because it's different.
Mm.
How we say in English, to do or to make. What is the difference? Some syntactically this
Synthetic.
yes. So, and you just need to improve your vocabulary. I also work with students with the level B2. So it's for you, just you need to
Syntactic.
learn syntactic,
Synthetic.
uh, not synthetic, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Synthesizer.
mhm. So you need just to share your vocabulary and correct some how to say logic mistakes, in which situation is better to use some words. So very good. And C1, it's a level of native speakers,
Hmm.
and C2 it means the and for level C1 C2 we read like Pushkin,
Yeah, it's hard for
Bulgakov,
me. It's very hard for me.
Dostoevsky. Yes, it's hard. It's also hard for Russian native speakers. So only, for example, I can read because I am a teacher, and then normal people they can't read Dostoevsky. It's only people who graduated philological faculty. So something
I can film
simple.
locations of Dostoevsky in St. Petersburg, Senna area, but I don't read it.
Yeah.
He loved that
Yeah.
area.
So
Those, yeah. Hey, by the way,
yeah.
question before the last question.
Questions, guys, and
Question
last
to you.
question.
Do you get a lot of do guys try to hit you? Not hit you. I mean hit you. Do you understand the word? Not physically. To hit you on chats and on lives or email because you are female. So are they writing to you like try to flirt and some stuff? Like somebody wrote he likes you here for Raj told
Ah,
me.
yes, yes, Raj.
Do you
Yes,
get
it's
a lot of these? Which is not. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I'm just asking. I don't know. Raj is. I don't know him, but yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. Also, Raj is writing, I like you in
yeah.
Russian.
Really like you. He said. He said really like you.
Yeah. But it's very good, Raj, that you use Russian. Very good. Yeah. I think it's normal. She's pretty.
Ah, it
Jerome
was
says.
it was to Anna. I thought to me. All right. No, no.
Maybe it's for you.
I'm
Do you
kidding.
think Raj
I'm
is
kidding.
writing for you that maybe
I
he
not
likes you?
anymore. Not anymore. Yeah.
I don't know. Marriage proposal.
Yeah.
Not Jerome is writing not for Anna. Oh, it's for Igor. Guys, Igor he's married, so he's busy. Yeah, Igor is married.
What was
Some
yeah.
Anu, that's great. So it means you can go around. Someone asked my student Anu about his plans in Russia, and he said he's going to open a strawberry shop in Russian city Krasnodar. Yeah. Yeah, it's very good business, guys. Also, I speak about it on my course about jobs because I not only teach you Russian grammar, I also teach you how to find job. I also have experience in office. I was working 15 years. Also, I was a human resources HR specialist, and I also help people to find job. For example, I can give you real examples. Like in my previous university in Pushkin Institute, I was teaching a group of students, and it was one student from Malaysia. And I no when I teach my students, I always ask about themselves. They tell me about their personal life, so I can analyze people and I can suggest. I'm like a job manager, so and I can recommend for everyone which job is good for you in Russia. I can't
Hmm.
say about all world because I am specialist only in Russia. And I saw that this guy, he was working like a courier. Courier, it's a person, it's like delivery guy.
Courier, yeah.
Yeah, courier, it's
It's the same word.
easy. Yes, it's easy job to it's I mean it's easy to get this job, but it's very hard job. You must work 15 hours per day to get
Hmm.
some small money. It's very really it's a terrible job, especially with climate when it's rainy. And I
Winter.
knew in winter, yes, and I knew that this guy from Malaysia, he is extremely good cooker. He every day he was showing to me picture, Anya, look how I cook. Yesterday I cooked this chicken, and I was thinking, oh, and what what I did? His name is Mohammed. I said, Mohammed, try to work a chef because I know in Moscow people are very busy and people don't have time to go to supermarket to buy food to cook. Most of people in Moscow very business people and people need this kind of people who can go for do food shopping, come to their apartment. Some people hire personal chef, and you know what he did? He came to Indonesian embassy and he got a job and he got a salary in twice then he got like he was a courier
Nice. Nice story.
because of me so it's one example and I have so many examples when I recommend to my students also help with job. Yeah.
That's nice. And people think, I think people can actually write this also not only in the chat but in the comments, and you can actually answer.
Yes.
You can answer a lot of questions because there's a tons of questions right now.
Yes, guys, but very important. You need to learn Russian, of course. It's logically if you want to move to Russia, you need to learn Russian. Of course, no need to have level C1, also B2.
And you don't need to
But
you don't need to move to Russia in order to study also.
yes, you can study with me online. I now have A1 program. Then I will write, record A2, and you can learn Russian online. Find a job. I also can help, and then come to Russia and work.
Yep. So,
What is the salary? People ask about. Guys, salary, what is the salary? If you ask about chef, I remember Milatovich family, the church, he told me, he also working like a chef. He said the salary is about 60,000 rubles, from 60 till 100,000 rubles. It's how many dollars?
600
If
to
it's
$1,000 approximately. Well, euros. 600
yes,
to 1,000 euros.
yes, it depends on your
Yeah,
experience. If
yeah.
you're yes, if you're
But in
really good
Moscow,
chef.
right? This is
In
Moscow.
Moscow, yes, in Moscow, of
So
course,
it's a
the
bit
salary.
less in St. Petersburg and much less everywhere else.
Yeah, so for example, if
Approximately.
you're from India, you can go to Indian restaurant and work like Indian chef,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
I so guys, any questions? I have a friend in Moscow. Jerome is writing, works as a manager in a grocery store. He makes $2,200 a month. Told me a year ago. Uh-huh. He's working manager. Yes, of course, manager can get $2,000. Manager
That's a lot of
depends
money in
on.
Russia, by the way. That's like
Yeah, it's a lot
equivalent
of guys.
to, in Europe, that would be like, I don't know, 6,000-7,000.
Yes,
Ish.
guys, you know also why foreigners like Russia, because we have very low tax налог,
Yeah, tax
just as taxes,
13%.
just 13%, really. Because, for
Equal, yeah.
example, in Europe, in some places it could be 50%. So, for example, you earn $2,000 and 1,000 you must give to the government. In Russia, no, just 13%. Igor, for you, Todd is
Yeah.
asking.
Are you planning to any more trips further inside Russia? You presented more of Moscow than most people who vlog from Moscow. And thank you very much. And yes, I did this I was 6 days in Moscow and I filmed 60 something videos. There are walk videos, there are shopping mall videos, there are like sightseeing videos. You can check out from my channel, from any videos, Google Maps, you'll see how many places, because it's already full. And that's my first visit to Moscow. But I want to film more Moscow. I have a lot of videos coming from St. Petersburg, Veliki Novgorod, and yes, definitely planning going further inside Russia. If I have time, if I could able to maybe find a sponsor as well to collaborate with someone, some company or some organization, I would travel like all the way to Vladivostok. I would devote my life to this, no problem. So definitely in the planning, whether there's a sponsor or not. But if there's no sponsor, I have to use my free time to travel. And when you go to St. Petersburg, if, for example, if I want to go to Moscow, that's 4 hours one way, right? Or through the night. So it's always take hours. If I want to go to Petrozavodsk, the close cities first, because of the time consumption. I have plans to go Pskov, Tver, Moscow again. Let's see where else. I want to see them for myself, and I devote myself. I always film. This way I can share the world what I see. Hello, AJ says, hello, Igor and Anna. Do you want to read the question?
A question from
And
Jerome. He's
console.
asking about apartment. He said, I think she pays 600 for an apartment. No, Jerome, if you mean $600, so I pay for my apartment. So apartment in Moscow, guys, I will do soon. Really very popular question. I will do vlog about how to rent apartment and the prices. I can say that if you 600, it's in the center. If you stay in the center of Moscow, yes, apartment will be $600. But if you stay not in the center, apartment will be just $200. 200 and
Same thing in St. Petersburg, on the
yes,
outskirts of the city.
yes, not so expensive, really. 200 or $300. It's one room apartment. So if you rent, for example, with your friend, yeah, if you want to live alone, yes, maybe a little bit expensive. But if two people, normally two friends, rent, so I think 200 it's okay. Far from Moscow, 200. The more close, the more expensive.
On the edge
So
of the
yeah.
city in St. Petersburg, it's like a 2-room apartment. You can check out my channel for that as well. I'll also show my apartment in St. Petersburg, which is rented. It's around
How much?
200, but it's 50. It's like 50 square meters, so it's 2-room. So it's a bigger room. Moscow is a bit more expensive. That's the difference,
Yes, Moscow is of course
and it's
more
probably a
expensive.
bit more further, like in kilometers. It's a bit further because it's the bigger city. But like 40 minutes to the city center by bus and metro, that's normal in St. Petersburg. Around 200, it can be a little bit more, not much less though. And this is a brand new. And I also lived like 10 kilometers from the city center or less. And it was like, it was more expensive. It was 300 and it was older apartments. So can get worse, same size, older, but more expensive. And the city center on Nevsky, probably the same thing, like 600 800.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we're gonna watch your video when it gets out. Interesting.
Yes, guys, watch my video about apartment soon. I will show you how much cost old apartment, new apartment, some tips. Yeah. So, let's see. Uh,
And Novosibirsk for sure, definitely. Just didn't mention it. Definitely want to come, Anu.
uh,
So yeah, Somebody asked
For,
about Novosibirsk. That's I said definitely want to come there as well. Main capital of Siberia.
is Russia plenty for IT jobs or hard there? Guys, IT jobs in Russia very, very popular because, because of this last um, things in Russia, most of IT specialists left Russia. So IT market is open. So if you're IT specialist, welcome. IT very good salary now for IT specialists.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we need IT specialists, and it's very popular. So you can go for working. But of course, guys need Russian language to learn.
Depends, and yeah, definitely, yeah. Since less and less international business right now.
Todd asking me, Anna, how many languages do you speak? You speak English very good, thank you, and seem to even understand the
Hi,
subtle
Sam.
humor. Yeah. So I speak, of course, Russian, да, and I'm native speaker. I speak English and I speak Italian, parlo italiano. And English, my level of English, I think it's B1, B1, B2, Italian language A1. So it's like
Wow.
intermediate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then plans for, I don't know, I also want to learn something, I don't know, maybe French, maybe Spanish, I don't know. So,
Cool.
and any, no, I think we answer for all questions, right?
Yeah. Plus,
Oh,
you can do so much. So yeah.
yeah.
So, Guy, what was the last? Let's
Yes, last,
there's a saying. There's a saying in show business: rather leave people a little bit hungry than too full. This way, they will come back.
so, Sam asked, hi, Igor, question, how did you guys, meet?
We haven't
Ah,
actually meet, but we on this YouTube community of Russian vloggers. So this way, I
yeah.
found you. I knew about you through Joseph video, expat American video. So I was like, hey, this is cool with you and Milotovich family.
Yes, yes, guys. So I met I met this guy from Australia. I forgot, I
Mm-hmm.
forgot who, and he invited me to YouTuber's Telegram channel, and I met Expat American. I met Igor and other guys, and we do collaboration as we blogger with
We
each
must
other.
stay together.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So what
So,
was the
and
tell
last
me?
question, yes, last question about relationships. Igor, tell us, please, very interesting about your love story. How did
Ah,
you meet? Yeah, love story. How did you meet your wife, and um, why do you like
why do I like
Russian
her?
girls? You don't like? No.
No,
Why
why
did
do I?
you choose? Why didn't you
Yeah, yeah,
choose
yeah. This one.
local? Can you speak? Say something about Finland?
Um,
I don't know how to say correct. Finn girls.
Finnish,
What is the
Finnish. Yeah.
Finnish? What is the difference between Finnish girls and Russian? And why do you prefer
All
Russian?
right.
Because you
Yeah.
married with.
Yeah, but the question about the Finnish women in general, I think if you're from Finland, then basically for you it might be okay and you don't see the difference. But if you have like a Russian background or let's say traditional countries background, it's not only Russian. I think maybe Turkish, Italian, these type of traditional countries. So that you will see the difference bigger. In Finland, there's a big thing about this type of equality that Finnish and the men and women are the same, and there's no some type of and I can see myself as well. I've been a little bit Finishized, becoming more Finn as well in some ways, and me because I lived here for 30 years. But you cannot get the Russian out of me, and thank God, no. But Finnish women, for example, they're small things. You don't need to act like for many depends, but you don't need to be like a real man in front of a Finnish woman. For example, it goes once again. Um, it's hard to say actually, but there's a different things maybe about, of course, the way women present themselves. There's maybe less pressure for them. I think I'm not sure. I would say so. And then this thing, you don't need to, for example, let's go to this very surface level. So you don't need to necessarily, you don't need to pay for for a man is not expected to be paying for everything, for example. Then again, in Russia, it basically you should, because that's how men act, that's being a man and providing for your family, for that type of stuff. So yeah, cannot say much on that, but I guess then again, if we being honest, maybe I'm a Russian person in my spirit, and I've always been, no matter how long. Even though I never traveled to Russia properly before 2016, only a couple of times, and like I said, I felt right at home, even though I am a little bit a foreigner there as well. So I guess it's my wife is Russian. She shares my culture, even though there might be some still, because of I live all my life elsewhere. So there are some clashes between like cultures and maybe what's expected of me. But these are small things. But in general, maybe the language, etc. That's my own. We share this thing background, and of course, it doesn't mean necessarily have to go that after that. I just fell in love with her, and that's probably the main the only main thing here. It just she's the chosen one, but otherwise these are in the background, the stuff that I told you about, which could be interesting for your viewers. But yeah, definitely a lot of differences, how you behave, how you speak, by the way, this type of stuff you speak about. I'm not able to say more details, but you cannot behave certain way always, even though you can be free, but still there's some things expected of you. I don't know, does it make sense to you, because you also know European world, or like
Mhm.
more, yeah, modern
So
approach. And of
does
course,
it mean that? Uh-huh.
most important thing, the values, traditional values of family.
Tradition. What is the
Definitely.
values for Finland, for Finnish girls?
Well, I guess they're in the end basically quite the same, but maybe Finnish women want to be in some way, I don't know, maybe more independent in some ways. Even
Oh.
I'm not sure. I don't know, but I think so. Maybe something like that.
Mhm.
And the way people behave and treat each other is it's different. I cannot be more specific, but yeah. And how we met, shortly, not gonna go into details, but we met on the Victory Day, which is I came to that was my dream come true, and actually I started my well, it happened that I started my YouTube career on that week. I took off for one
Wow.
week, and my aim was to finally see the Victory Day in Russia, and okay, not Moscow, but I came to St. Petersburg, and that
In
was
St.
my
Petersburg.
so
Hmm.
yes, and after that, I filmed every day except the one pandemic year when I couldn't get there. But I filmed every Victory Day since that. But anyway, we met on Victory Day. I saw the Victory Day, and after that, there was a flyover, and we met. We went to on a date and had a wonderful day, and the rest is history. But yeah, it was maybe hard for her at once, because at first, because I spoke Russian, even worse, much worse than now, maybe. Plus, I was very, very foreigner in some ways. But then again, I was also Russian in some ways. So yeah,
Hmm.
and yeah, and then we live here. But I wouldn't mind if there's a possibility to uh, to have more things to do in Russia, stay in Russia, and maybe move if there's possibility. But let's see where God would lead us.
Good. So, and very interesting that you started your channel, and
Yeah, by
in
the way,
this
yeah.
same week you met your wife.
Yeah, yes, that's
Awesome, really.
yeah, that's
And how many years do you together? Do you live together?
since 19. We lived together since we moved. I lived in Finland, she lived in Russia, but we moved together. But I didn't live there, but we had an apartment there. At first in
Mm.
the different city center, near city center, and down elsewhere. We kind of moved together, even though we didn't move together, because I work in Finland. So since 19 we met, and then it was pandemic. That was hard. We didn't see each other for a long time.
Terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
when we had to fly to Istanbul to meet,
Mhm.
we flew 3,000 kilometers altogether to meet, and left separately because she couldn't come to Finland and I couldn't travel to Russia because the border was closed. So and after that we married, and we live here now. But we still have a rented apartment, which feels like home as well, in St. Petersburg. Yeah.
Great. Great. So, guys, we are going to finish. If you
Yes.
have any questions, so let's answer.
I think we had a pretty. We should leave them hungry and leave in the comments, and do another one if it continues. But I think people should write comments, not in the chat. This way you can answer.
Yes,
after
yes,
this,
guys,
and
please write in the chat. Yes,
in the comments.
not in the chat, in comments. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Igor, thank you for your time. It was very interesting talk with you.
As well, thanks for having me, and everybody subscribe to my channel as well, and check out Anna's online course. And also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to Anna's channel. Let's see if we'll do another live video together as well. If we in sometime in Moscow, we'll get together with Joseph, and let's see who else, and have a drinking party. No, just kidding. Thanks for having me. I think this was awesome. We covered a lot of themes, topics.
Yes, yes, so many in this video. So write all your questions and comments. We will be happy for you can ask or you can ask me. Спасибо. Thank you, Todd.
Great.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys. Have a wonderful evening. Спасибо. We'll meet again.
Спасибо.
Take care, and bye bye
До
to
свидания.
Vadik. Was it Vadik?
Vadik, yes, I will show.
Sleeps.
Vadik sleeping.
Nice.
Vadik, say goodbye.
All right.
He's very cute.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He's the same. All right. And if you need assistance, you click on the end. I think it's on the right hand corner or something.
Yes, yes, it's
just
my
finish
first
and
time. So
yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I will click
Let me know
end.
if you need in the Telegram.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.